Hi everyone, and welcome back to B&A Garden Farm. I'm Tom, and I'm yet again cowering inside the greenhouse. It's January the 22nd today, 2019. We've done an awful lot of work. I'm pointing out from the back of the greenhouse out towards the poultry yard. So we actually have the chicken coop is now in a new position. That's actually now all set properly on slabs. You can just see through the mesh. So that's great. The land is also all cleared behind and levelled. But yeah, it's not a particularly nice day. It's actually meant to snow. It's quite cold. It's meant to snow later on. It's about midday, perhaps about 12:30 midday now. So I'm just sort of hiding inside the greenhouse. Greenhouse itself is a bit of a mess, and that's an issue because we want to try and get this place set up to start doing some seedlings. Start some seedlings in here at some point, but it's just a mess. Also, I had a mouse that started trying to build a nest down there. We think it came from a shed, a decaying shed next door, which might have been a problem. But yeah, it's going to be a busy week. We actually potentially have poultry arriving, or I've got to go and pick up the end of this week on this Sunday. I'm looking also to see if I can find a cockerel or rooster, for those of you in the States, to join the flock as well. So we're very, very close actually to having our first livestock here on the site, which is fantastic. Still lots and lots of stuff needs doing, as you can see, but yeah, we're getting there, sort of. What I want to do is, and again, I can't really show you because I'm sort of carrying out from the rain, but behind the tree there, you can't really see it, but there's a gate. It's the same colour as the sheds. You can't really see it, but you can just see the battens of it there. There we go. Yeah, that's the gate for the sort of sealed area here, and it's a bit low. So what I need to do is I need to use some of the wood that we've got lying around, so stuff like this, basically, and create a new sort of extender just to raise the gate. And then there's an old gate slash fence there which needs to be dumped, but you see how it's got that mesh on it, and my plan is I may take that mesh off and then use that to mesh my new panel to fit over the gate, to extend the gate there, and then that basically means that the poultry can then have free run of this rear yard without coming into the garden here or causing too many problems. Let's just, if we can, peek around the corner. I've got a pile of soil there. I've got bricks and all sorts. Basically, the area at the back here was it's been used as a rubbish tip. Not by us, but generations of previous owners have just used that as a rubbish tip. So we're just digging up all sorts. So we've got about 5 different levels on that site. So I've had to build here some retainer, which I've had to do as cheaply as possible. And you see the retainer the other side as well. Basically trying to sort of keep the soil all at various levels together, so that we have been able to actually put buildings up. So, but yeah, but this weather is not good at best. I said it's going to snow at some point, maybe. And yeah, it's put a bit of a dampener on what I was hoping to do today. Okay, we've had a break in the weather, so let me show you what's going on. So this is the poultry yard. It's changed quite a bit since the last video. So this is the sort of highest area at the back here, which we've basically had to dig a load of soil out and spread it all around to try and get a new level. This will be under here. Can't see it at the moment, but there's actually some sort of crazy paving and bits of old concrete slab that making a lower surface. So we've water butt, and we have a compost bin there. So we then need wood here to retain the sides. This is the entrance where you come in. There's that gate I was talking about earlier that I need to reinforce. And basically we had a line, right, there we are. Basically the original bank was here, and it was just rotten logs that was being used, and we dug that out hoping to put posts in, and found that actually underneath it was all tarmacked or had huge, paving slabs, the kind of things you know councils use for sidewalks or pavements, and that just goes underneath there. So luckily we were able to get these posts in here, so we pushed this bank back to give us a wider space. And again, just because the levels are all over the place, so the level between there and there is significantly higher, as you can see. So basically I've been spending quite a bit of time digging it out and then trying to get a level and reinforcing the bank to stop it slipping. This is treated timber. It's not the thickest stuff in the world. I have scrimped a little bit, basically, you know, try not to spend too much money. So it is quite thin stuff, and the posts are, you know, not sort of well, they're not really post material, but it'll do the job for what we need. So the issue we have got is the ground is just sodden at the moment. And if you imagine you're coming up to the nest box here, or to let the chickens out, and every day, especially in the morning, if you just start to go into work, it's just going to be a real issue, I reckon. So what the plan is to try and clean up this concrete paving as best we can, and then I'm going to put down some new paving slabs, and you can see now in this shot, which I've bought. I'm going to put those down like stepping stones, so we're going to use the bark, sort of like ground, that playpen bark stuff you can buy. I'm going to put down basically over this land to try and create a sort of a drier surface that's not going to get so muddy. As I mentioned before, this entire area will be free roam for our chickens when we get them. If we need them contained, obviously we can keep them inside the run area here. You'll notice that the run is actually on paving slabs. That's to try and stop it rotting. It has all been treated. It wasn't treated when I bought it, so I've had to paint it all to treat it. Got a few more issues going on. Obviously things like locks and stuff aren't working. The doors are sticking, so yeah, it's a few little tweaks needed, but it is all in and complete now. My partner Anna actually used some of the wood we bought, the slatting, basically just to create a sort of a skirt around, because the height difference, there was a huge gap underneath, so we've used that just to kind of well, basically to seal the coop in. But that's all looking really good. So as I said, this weekend we're going to have our first chickens arrive, hopefully. I'm hoping to sink that old slab in here, so you'll be able to walk up, step on this, and then be able to open that, let the chickens out, put them back in, whatever. That's the plan. I'm hoping over this area that we're going to have a green shed, half-size shed that's going to go in, so I can keep all my food and supplies and stuff in plastic containers in that. Stop the mouse from divulging all that. Devouring all that. Over here I'm going to have some cheaper sort of triangular rabbit hutch type pens. I have bought one, which I'd like to try and assemble today if the weather sort of cleans up a bit. So we're going to have one there. That's so we've got a separate place we can cage a bird in if we need to, especially if we're trying to introduce mixed flocks to each other. I'm also hoping to look at quail later in the year. So we'll be hope to have a quail pen in here as well. What's great about this space is it was completely unused. It was just sort of a dumping ground, and basically I'm just going to squeeze behind the back here so I get another shot, and that's the advantage, you can actually get around the back of all the buildings as well. So it was completely unused, and basically we can use this to raise all our livestock on, keep it out from the rest of the garden for the moment, or that's the plan hopefully. And yeah, they can sort of tear this all up, eat whatever they find here, and it's not going to affect anything else. Okay, just before I leave the poultry yard, one of the things I've had to do is just continue to tack this in. This was all loose. This was a new fence that we put in October 2018. There wasn't really a boundary here, it was just sort of a rotten wire and dumped rubbish, so we've had to rebuild between us and the neighbours. Obviously, knowing I was going to have poultry on my side, I wanted to put a better mesh, but again, not spending too much, and I used a slightly bigger post, but I had to build levels again just to stop our soil from sort of pouring into the neighbours next door there. And then just over there, so we're high here, and then the neighbour is high there with a sort of falling apart raised bed that had no back, so it was just pouring onto our back of our shed, which was annoying. We've sorted it now. We do have good relations with our neighbours, and they know about the chicken plan, so that's good. They're the only property that we side with, because we're sort of on a triangular patch, and there's actually no property behind there. Behind there is a piece of scrubland and actually a car park. I should show you. There we go. You see, it's a car park over the fence, so there's nobody else really to annoy over there, which is good.